Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the web development series. Today we are going to discuss about navigation menus. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so before anything, I would like to mention that if you didn't watch any of the previous episodes, I do recommend you to watch those first to better understand what we're doing today. So right here I have opened up the folder in which we have the files that we worked with last time, and I have opened up Sublime over here with a file that we opened last time. Now in order to stay a bit cleaner, we're going to make new files. We're going to make two new files. One is going to be the HTML file that we're going to use, and that's going to be called second.html, and the other one is going to be called style.css. Okay, so starting with the first file, the HTML file, we're going to start writing into it. So we're going to put the HTML tags, and we're going to put the head, in which we put the title, and that's going to be my second page. And then we're going to also add the style sheet. So we're going to put link. We're going to call it, we're going to put here, I'm going to tell it that's a style sheet. And we're going to put the link. It's going to be style.css. We're going to close the head, and we're going to open up the body. And right here, we're going to close up the body. I'm going to go ahead and open up this file into the browser. And what we're going to do is create a new class. We're going to make a new class. We're going to use the divisions, not necessarily the containers, not necessarily the navigation bar tag. So what we're going to do is go over here and make a new one, and we're going to put a class. We're going to make it Navbar. We're going to close that up. So inside our CSS file, we're going to make a new one that's going to be called Navbar, and it's going to have its position. We're going to be making this fixed and position. Okay, and also now we're going to add a background color, and we're going to make that a dark gray. So we're going to put 4. We're going to make the width 100%, and we're going to make it to stick to the top. So we're going to do that, and also we're going to do left. We're going to put that 0. So now if I refresh, you'll see nothing. But if I add a height, I'm going to tell you immediately why I didn't do that. But if I put a height, you can see now that it appears. Now I'm going to remove the height, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But the next thing we're going to do is add inside of it a list. And inside that we're going to add a list item, and that's going to have our link that's going to take us to homepage.html. We're going to call that home. We're going to close these. And the thing is that inside here we're going to make nav bar, and we're going to put here and organize the list. And what we're going to do is go ahead and put display inline. And now this is it for now, but now we're going to do .navbar list item, and this is a bit more important. And here we're going to put padding. We're going to make that 0 pixels, and also we are going to put no width, no nothing, but what we're gonna do is put float left. I'm gonna tell you immediately why we did that. And also we're gonna do navbar link, so that link, and we're gonna make a background, no, and we're gonna make it, the text color is gonna be white, and we're gonna have text decoration none, and we're gonna have font family, we're gonna have that to be Verdana, and we're gonna add padding. We're gonna make that 10 pixels by 20 pixels, and we're gonna add a background, and no background color. But what we are gonna do, no, nothing. So let's let it that way for now. So if I refresh, now you can see this is the button that takes us to the home page. Okay, that's exactly what it does. But oh, and also what we're gonna do is put display block. I'm gonna talk about what everything does in a second. But important part is 20 by 20 pixels. Yeah, that's more boxy look. Let's do this 15. Oh yeah, and the text size, so we're gonna put font size, we're gonna make that 14 pixels. So this looks fine for now. And now let's talk a bit about the properties and what they do. So firstly, we're going to do the navbar. So this is basically this big gray object right here is our navbar. Now inside, all the buttons, these buttons, are going to be inside a list. And what this does is tells it to go in line. The list item is basically the button thing, but we're going to have no padding, so it's going to be nothing. And float left means it's going to go all the way here to the left. The A is basically the link, and that's what the button is. And the padding, the color is basically the text color. The text decoration means that the link is not going to have that underline, ugly underline. The font family tells it what font this is going to be. The padding means all this space. We talked about that in a previous episode about the padding, and this is basically what adds this thickness. And because we remove the height from here, it basically makes this gray box the maximum height it finds, and the maximum height it finds as a content inside it is going to be this. And if I make a larger button, it's going to make it even larger. The display block means that I don't have to click on the text for the click to be registered. I can click here and take me. I don't have to click on the text, because if I wouldn't put this, I will have to click exactly on the text. And font size speaks for itself what it is. Now let's do it in a way so that when I put my mouse over it, it's going to turn a different color. So basically, when I hover my mouse over it, it's going to do something. So in order to do that, we're going to put navbar A, and we're going to add hover. And inside here, what we're going to do is basically add color black, and we're going to make background color orange. Refresh. Now, when I put the mouse over it, you can see now that the whole padding, now you can better see the padding, that part will basically now turn that color, all that link. Now, we want to add a transition effect so that it fades. It doesn't just look so ugly when I put my mouse over it. Now, I showed you how to do that transition when we went for the buttons. So if I put my transition just over on hover, it's going to put transition 0.3 seconds. It's going to be a fast transition. Too fast. We're going to make that 0.5 seconds. That's where the problem was. You can see it eases in, but when I take my mouse off, it just disappears really quick. A quick way to fix that would be just moving that over. And when I refresh now, you can see it eases in and out. And you can see basically this is how the button works. So let's add this also to this file. So we're going to take this part, we're going to copy it, and we're going to just take it over here. And if I'm going to refresh, now the problem and why this basically doesn't have the effects is because we didn't include our little file. So we're going to put link. I'm going to tell it it's a style sheet. I'm going to put href, and we're going to make that style.css. Refreshing. Well, perfect. Now I wanted to talk a bit about something. Why does this, the list and everything inside, respect its properties if I didn't just select a class? Well, you might have noticed that before everything, I put that navbar. So that means the UL inside navbar is going to have automatically these properties applied to it. Now, the hover, you might see in the button, this is what it does when the mouse hovers above it. It's going to apply these properties, and it's going to override the properties over here. Now, let's do something different. If I click this, you can see it takes me here, but why is the button still working? Well, we're going to make a new class that we're going to call active. And inside here, I'm going to just remove the href part, so that's going to be basically a span text. Now if I hover above it, you can see that, but it's not a link I can click. Haha. So what we're going to do is put this active class, and we're going to make this class active. What this means is that we're going to apply a new set of properties and tell it this is active. So what we're going to do is put color. We're going to make something like no. Let's let that white, and put background color, background, and we're going to make that something like Dodger blue. Now you can use any colors you want, and you can see now it applies that. But the problem is, this is active, but if I put my mouse over it, you can see it still changes color when I hover. Here we can fix it by putting that not. So basically it's going to apply all these, and we're going to put not active. So that means that the A inside navbar that I hover above, but that doesn't have this class applied to it, it's going to have that. So if I now hover, you can see nothing happens. But taking a brief look here, when I put my mouse over it, you can see I have that pointer. And here it's this normal arrow. So this one is going to have cursor, and we're going to put inside it its pointer. So it has that pointing finger. There are many others for cursors, but now you can see when I put my mouse over it, now it puts that little hand, that pointer, that finger that points. So right now I have that same effect, and you can see how well it works. Now about that fixed position, what does it help with? Well, it's very simple. So if I'm going to put a bunch of paragraphs, this is a phrase has words. And if I put this paragraph, and I'm going to just copy it, I'm going to copy a bunch of it. Now, if I'm going to refresh, you can see a ton of paragraphs. Now, if I wouldn't put that position fixed, when I scroll, this would go away. But you can see that it always sticks to the top. And this is very important. Now, let's say we might want to add a picture. So before this, it's going to be a header. And it's going to have inside it image source, and this is called well, we have no pictures in it. Let's go over here, and we're going to copy, let's say, this wallpaper, and we're going to copy it here, and we're going to paste it. So we have a wallpaper. And it's going to be wallpaper.jpg. And we're going to close up our header. And in theory, well, this is position fixed at top, but if I'm going to change the position to sticky, now you can see this comes up below it, but as I scroll, it's going to stick to the top, if you can see now. So this is the image. This is basically our background image. And if I scroll, you're going to have our navigation bar. We're going to have to fix this. And then as I scroll, it's just going to stick to the top of the page. It's not going to go away. Now we're going to put height, and let's make a little calculation. So the text is 14 pixels. The padding is 15 pixels. So 2 times 15, which is 30, because we have top and bottom padding. And 14, so that's going to have us 44 pixels. So right now, you can see our top navigation. Now, it isn't really that exact, so we're going to make that 47, I guess. Yep, I nailed it. And if I do that, now you'll be able to see it sticks to the top. It's a very nice bar. Now, definitely, I'm going to want to make this really small, so we're going to make height, and I'm going to make that 200 pixels, just because and we're going to make width equal to 100%. You know, that's going to stretch and it's not going to be nice, but it's just for demonstration purposes, not for aesthetics right now. So you can see now it sticks. Now, how do we fix this? These ugly white spaces? Very simple. So we're going to go here and add some inline style. Now, you could use some attributes to actually just fit it, not by zooming in, not by stretching it, but we're going to just ignore that. And we're going to assume that you have a good image already put in. And what we're going to do is add a style. We're going to do margin minus 5 pixels. Refreshing. Well, that's closer, definitely. But not enough, so we're going to do 7 pixels. Well, that sticks to it, but we're going to need a bigger width, so we're going to do something like this. Now it fits perfectly the image. And now we need to also put our little bar. I'm gonna make that 105, and we're gonna make the margins -5 pixels, except the margin top, which I want it to be 2 pixels. Now this scrolls too far to the right, so we're going to take care of that. But also the margin on the left, I want it to be -7. Okay, now that everything sticks to that left side, we're going to need a smaller width. 1. So 101%. Now, there is a way to adjust these without actually having to do this and literally fit any screen, but that's a bit more advanced, and we're going to just keep it simple for this. We're going to do that in a future episode, and how to adjust that depending on the current screen width. So basically this is how you make the bar stick. So you can see now, this is the top section, and then I scroll, and the top navigation sticks over here. Exactly what I wanted. Now, for instance, I'm going to want to add more parts. So I'm going to add a, and we're going to do class equals active. And we're going to do second, and we're going to close that and that. And you can see we have this second. Now this is unorganized list, so why does it have that dot? I'm going to take care of that too, but in theory right now we have done our top navigation. It's an unorganized list, and we still have the dot. It's unorganized means it doesn't have those numbers. So we're going to have to take that out. Refreshing, we go home, we go second. Perfect. So we're going to go here to unorganized list, and we're going to put one more attribute, and we're going to put list style type none. So this will ensure we have none of this. So now you can see it looks really good, and it works, and we have that sticky look. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, click the subscribe button. See you next time on HowToIT.